Welcome to Talking Giants Player Profiles and Projections, the final week of the 2021 PPP season. So we got our first round pick today. We got our running back Saquon Barkley tomorrow, and then we'll finish off with Daniel Jones. But our first round pick, Kadarius Toney, 5'11", 6 foot. He's 6 foot, 5'11", 5/8 inch, not 193 pounds. Ran a 4.37 40 at his pro day, 39.5-inch vertical jump. Justin, he was the Giants' first-round pick after trading down to pick 20 from pick 11. We didn't expect the world out of Kadarius Toney in year one because of the wide receiver situation, but it's been a crazy, crazy slow start due to COVID and possibly some type of hamstring injury. And here's just what I want to say, Justin. I don't need him to come out and be the best receiver on the team right away. I just want to see him play. I am yearning, I am itching to see Kadarius Toney play in a New York Giants jersey.
Yeah, certainly a complicated spring and a complicated summer. I mean, if you talk to a lot of the beat reporters that we've talked to, they've said that they've never seen quite the road that Kadarius Toney has kind of went on in terms of him not practicing and him not being there. However, I think that it's pretty well known at this point, and it's pretty well inferred with informed opinion and informed inference that it was COVID that slowed him down. And you're never going to fault somebody for, being slowed down by, virus. Bobby, you say the line all the time, by a virus that, hundreds of thousands, if not, millions of Americans have had over the past, 2 years almost run to at this point. So,
My mom, my sister, and Kadarius Toney are scumbags for getting the coronavirus.
Hey, relax, easy now. Yeah, so I started the spring and I started the summer kind of just saying that I just want to see this guy practice. And now we're at a point where just want to see him play. And it is expected that he is going to play week one, which is a welcome sign. At this point, we just want to see him play. And it's optimistic that he is going to play week one. And I'm extremely excited for that because this dude, Bobby, like Kadarius Toney, is the type of player that, he's not relying on his route running. He's not relying on his wide receiver separation. I don't really think that Kadarius Toney is going to be relying on his chemistry with Daniel Jones or his relationship with the scheme and the knowledge of the scheme.
Not as a rookie, at least.
This is just a dude where you want to get the ball in his hands and you just want to let him work and see what happens. And that's what I kind of want to see right away from the get-go.
He's a game-changing player. He had 70 catches for 984 yards and 10 touchdowns his senior year at Florida, and then he had 19 carries for 161 yards, 8.5 yards per pop, and a touchdown on the ground. And he can just be used in so many different ways. And if you go look at my film breakdown I did of him, you look at that SEC championship game versus Alabama. He had over 100 yards, had a touchdown, burning their corner. And then they were giving him handoffs and bubble screens. It's just, like you said, he is a simple player because he has that quick twitch ability. He breaks tackles like crazy. He just doesn't go to the ground. It's kind of it almost makes you makes you squeam or whatever when you see him bend the way he does at times. Yeah. Good hands. So he had 0 drops his last year for the Gators, and he is a game-changing player. Now at pick 20. He wasn't even on our radar when we traded down. We weren't really thinking of Toney. It was. I was like, they're going to take Kwity Paye. We thought they were looking at him at pick 11 almost. While I did have other receivers ahead of him that were available, I also can point out that hey, Kadarius Toney can do stuff that Terrace Marshall Jr. can't do, and De'Ami Brown can't do, and Rashad Bateman can't do. He can do things that 99% of players in the NFL can't do. And if he can be used creatively, which I know we harp on Jason Garrett, but if there's one thing that last preseason game showed is they're going to use the different types of motions and fake handoffs and stuff. They can, if a good offensive coordinator, not even a good offensive coordinator, with him, with Saquon Barkley, with Daniel Jones' legs, can have some fun with this player. And that's what I want him to be, a fun player. I don't need him to be Sterling Shepard, 80% catch rate year. I just want to lead this year and that was a fun player to watch, and I'm happy with him.
Well, fun fact, Kadarius Toney's career catch rate at Florida over 3 years. What was his catch rate, Bobby?
You tell me.
80%.
Bam!
So, it doesn't always translate from college to the pros like that, but, Kadarius Toney was a slot wide receiver primarily, especially his senior year. 784 slot yards. That was sixth in the nation last year. 70 catches, 984 yards overall. Is his final year at Florida. 20 forced missed tackles, which was fifth in the nation. 35% of his touches since 2018, he forced a missed tackle. That's kind of bizarre. That's really, really crazy. And what we're really relying on in this Giants offense right now is players that can kind of overexceed the expectations of the scheme, right? Saquon Barkley and Kadarius Toney, I feel like, are two of these players where, again, you just want to get the ball in their hands and see what happens. Get the ball in their hands with a slither amount of space, a slither amount of room in front of them, and just see what happens. And in this offense, where I'm critical of Jason Garrett's offense, where so much of receivers catching the ball or to their backs or to the end zone, well, there's not a guy on this team who I would rather have catch a ball with his back to the end zone, because his ability to turn around and his fast twitch muscle fibers is unlike any other, kind of like you were touching on before. 6.8 yards after the catch per reception, too, which is kind of nuts. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, and obviously, these are college numbers, so they don't translate, like, directly, but it's like, what, he was, like, the best in college. And you look at, like, his pro day numbers, and NFL Next Gen has, like, their athletic, like, scorecard or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He was the top of his class. Him and Jamar Chase were both, like, 99 ratings for athleticism, the top of the class. So, for his rookie year, like, one, he needs to get better timing on his route running. Like, the South Carolina play where he basically, like, does, like, a backwards, like, reverse spin on the in route, and he catches it and takes it for, like, a touchdown, I think. Like, that play is cool, but also here, what we don't want you doing in the NFL is that type of route. Just, break it the same way, unless there's some type of design in that. But, like, your QB in the NFL, especially in this Jason Garrett offense, when he is just lining up in the slot and not, like, designed touches for Kadarius, is timing. Like, timing is big, and it's even bigger in this Jason Garrett offense. Like, it is a big part of this offense is timing. Like, if, Jones is reading the coverage, bam, short, quick breaking routes, especially on that stick concept, timing. So he needs to be able to trust, like, Daniel Jones needs to be able to trust Kadarius Toney on his timing. And there's no reason for him to not be out there on some of those plays. Like I said, we don't expect the world from his rookie season. But, I'd rather him be out there than C.J. Board, running a slant on 3rd and 5 when they're running a stick concept on the backside. So he's just got to, like, that's what he's got to get at. But he's a world-class athlete. Like I said, top percentile of the class. So if he's a hard worker, there's no reason for him to not be a good route runner. Like, route running is learned. I don't think he's ever going to be Jerry Rice type level, but there's no reason that we should, like, look at it from 2 years from now and be like, Kadarius Toney's a bad route runner. Like, if he puts in the work and stays healthy, he can be a good route runner.
Yeah. But for this year, really, my expectations are go out there and just be that athlete. I'm not like I said, you said earlier on, not expecting Sterling Shepard 80% catch rate being the best route runner on the team, where you're creating separation at will. But you know what? Those plays where Sterling Shepard would get those wide receiver sweeps, that should be Kadarius Toney this year. Shepard isn't the guy that has the most straight line speed. That should be Kadarius Toney this year. They have started to use some pre-snap motion. I would like to see more motion at the snap, because when you utilize motion at the snap, you are allowing players to get momentum under their feet, and then you have that advantage at the snap of the ball of beating a guy off the line of scrimmage, beating a defender that probably isn't moving as fast as that offensive player is. So using him in those types of ways where it's simple. I really don't think pre-snap motion and motion at the snap is this such complicated thing that the Giants offense can't handle, and Jones doesn't process things well, blah blah blah. I don't think they can handle it. They can handle it. And Kadarius Toney is the athlete that you really want to use him with. And even though he's not necessarily the biggest play option, like, we're going to look at Kenny Galladay and Darius Slayton being the big play options in this offense, at least throwing the ball down the field. Why can't Kadarius Toney take the top off of the defense sometimes? 4 of his touchdowns came from 20+ yards last year at Florida. So why not?
And Kadarius Toney, like, is he a slot receiver? Yes. But also, like, doesn't mean you don't line him up outside. Like, there should be reps this year where Kadarius Toney is on the outside and Sterling Shepard is in the slot next to him. Like, there's no reason they shouldn't do that, because he does have the speed. He's not like Tyreek Hill. I don't think he has, like, the Rondé Moore type speed. But he does have, like, burner speed. Not the top burners, but he does, like, look at that first touchdown versus Alabama. You just put him on a go route, outside release, and burns his cornerback. And that's an Alabama guy, so there's no reason why he can't do that at the NFL level when they get certain looks. So, yeah, I mean, use him in different ways. It sucks that he hasn't gotten the practice. Like, it really does suck. They were ramping him up and then basically shut him down. But, according to Tom Rock, they expect him to be ready for week 1. And I want to see him using the punt return game too. Like,
Yes.
why shouldn't Kadarius Toney be our punt returner? Or
why
be
not?
CJ Board. Like, Jabril's done an all right job, but has Jabril had been a game changer in the punt return game? Absolutely not. Like, who on this team do you think deserves reps at the punt returner more than Kadarius Toney would?
Yeah, and if Kadarius Toney's not going to be getting some, 70-80% of the reps as a wide receiver, especially to start. I mean, we were talking about Kadarius Toney not getting 70 to 80% of the reps before all the COVID stuff and before him not even suiting up for training camp. And I think the fact that he basically missed all of training camp, didn't play in a single preseason game, I definitely think that's not even a question in terms of this guy is probably going to be getting 50% of the snaps at least to start the season. That's maybe even shooting a little high. Use this guy in different ways. Just get the ball in his hands. That's the main goal for Kadarius Toney this year. Get the ball in his hands and be the playmaker you were in college with the ball in your hands. That is my goal. It's kind of simple, but that's the goal for Kadarius Toney this year.
I have my eyes closed, and I'm just imagining that first broken tackle. Do you think he should switch to number 17 or something else from number 89, which he basically said he was going to do when he got to number 89?
I really wanted him to go 17. I thought that would have been cool.
17, he still can. I mean, 17 wasn't available, and then Clayton Thorson was horrible, and then got concussed. And now
you can open your eyes now.
17. Nope, I'm imagining him wearing number 17, juking the life out of Patrick Surtain, and being like, that's what I do. That's what I do, young Joker. And he's a great rapper. His raps are beautiful, and he is a lyrical genius.
I made a meme of his. I forget what the meme was. I think it's when everybody was excited about David Sills, and I was saying how excited I am for young Joker's rap career, and he reposted it on his story, and he was trolling. He was trolling the trollers in our Instagram comments, and I loved it. He went on our Instagram.
Yep. So, Kadarius Toney, talking Giants versus the world. How about you shock the world? We appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, let's go Big Blue.